We regard ourselves as dull, but not boring. If somebody were to say I were dull, I would appreciate that. It wouldn't bother me at all. I take it as a compliment, actually.
Somebody said the unfortunate thing about when you get to a certain age is life's just downhill. Well, I'm quite happy to have a lot of downhill now, because all I've been doing all my life is pushing uphill. Life has never been so full. You can call me dull if you like, but I don't think so.
I think certain people in life are attractive to mundane things in life.
Time seems to go faster, but it's going too fast. Can you lot slow it down a wee bit?
There's a lot to be enjoyed just in slowing down, taking life easy, sitting on a park bench, watching the world go by. There's a lot to be said for being dull. So we formed the Dull Men's Club with a subtitle, Celebrate the Ordinary. We got tired of reading and hearing so much about people always striving for the glitz and glam, trying to keep up with the Joneses, always trying to get a fancier car, a bigger house, travel to more exotic places and come home and tell everybody. They go to Las Vegas and come back and say, hey, I heard Neil Diamond, you know, big deal. Dull Men's Club is a place in cyberspace where dull men can hang out and share their experiences with fellow dull men and women that appreciate dull men without worrying about being criticized. It's a sanctuary for people that enjoy the dull life. There's one gentleman we really admire here in the UK. It's Kevin Beersford. Kevin founded the Roundabout Appreciation Society and is very active with it to this day.
And the whole beauty of a roundabout is they're so expressive. You can put anything on a roundabout. And I've seen windmills, pubs, trains, boats, planes, cinemas, duck ponds, you name it, anything can go on a roundabout. And that's what makes them so special.
One of the interesting people we've come across recently, at least is interesting for us, is a man who's collecting milk bottles. He has the largest collection of milk bottles in the world, and the collection continues to grow to this day.
When I get a milk bottle for the first time, you look at it and you think, first of all, it's glass, I like glass. I like the design on there. I wonder about the milkman who picked that design out of an art book. All the times he had that bottle in his hands and what he did with it.
We have a Dull Men of the Year listing every year. One of the Dull Men of the Year last year was Peter Willis. Peter's hobby now is traveling all around England, photographing every one of the 115,000 post boxes in England.
The box itself can be a pretty and attractive item to me. They have embellishments, they have ciphers which were designed or are implemented when the monarch is on the throne. Sometimes they are painted gold, sometimes they're painted black. They shouldn't be. I understand that is classed as vandalism by Royal Mail.
I don't mind traveling to an exciting city like Paris, New York, as long as I know where there are park benches to sit on, to take my time. Time is what keeps everything from happening all at once.
Oh, that's just my milk bottle museum, loosely called a shed. I like to think of it as a workshop, so it's not just like a stable block or something like that, which contains my collection of 17,500 British milk bottles and probably 2,000 or 3,000 from overseas, from all different countries, Australia and Russia and Argentina, you name it, they had a milk bottle there. Even Trappist monks from Hong Kong had their own milk in bottles. And children worked out there was just about 14.25 tonne of glass, you know, if you do an overall average of every bottle that's in there. As far as I'm aware, I have the largest collection of British milk bottles in the British Isles. I mean, technically, 17,500 milk bottles are not worth anything. They're just glass, the most common thing on the planet. But to me, they're worth millions because they're my pride and joy. Well, they're nice to handle. Milk bottles do have a sort of tactile feel to them. My mission is to find every milk bottle I haven't got.
I do like, personally, to define a roundabout as a one-way gyratory. And I got a tingle of excitement as soon as I saw this roundabout and saw that there was a duck pond. I've never seen a duck pond on a roundabout. This roundabout here perfectly sums up that picture, if you like, because we're on a roundabout that's quintessentially English. They're not like robotic fascist traffic lights, and that's why the Brits love roundabouts, I think. We're not told, like traffic lights, what to do, when to stop, when to go. And I think it's a system that relies on a certain decorum and etiquette, which is what we're famous for, the Brits. Okay, over the years I've seen some darn good roundabouts, if you like, but there are some that stand out in my mind. I've already mentioned the Magic Roundabout in Swindon, but there are more aesthetically pleasing ones, if you like. There's the Bath Regency Roundabout, which you could almost hear the crack of leather on willow with that roundabout. It's beautiful, elegant roundabout. And this sums up everything about a roundabout, the fact that you can put anything on a roundabout. Concrete sheet, see trains, boats, planes. There's the Dorking Cockerel. There are 3 soaring Spitfires, a working windmill. I feel there's no such thing as an uninteresting roundabout.
There are 115,000 take or give of boxes in Royal Mail's collection, and nobody really could photograph them all. I think I've probably done about 2,500 so far. And my hobby, as I touched upon earlier, has come round to visiting and photographing post boxes, recording any changes, condition, damage, painting, etc., etc. Sometimes one can get some hoots and laughs from passing vehicles. But it takes me to places that I would not normally visit, and most of the time that is really, it's certainly interesting all the time. One of the benefits of joining the Letterbox study group is access and use of their database, which records as faithfully as possible the over 115,000 post boxes, both live and out of use. And with the help of my son, I have been able to get those references into my GPS unit with a coded entry which tells me briefly as possible what may be around the corner. Yeah, the first thing to say about this chappie is that I never leave home or rarely leave home without it. Well, if I'm going anywhere new, I like to take in as much of where I'm going or what's in front of me as I can, whether it be buildings, architecture, scenery, post boxes obviously, but it could be the odd lamppost, it could be a milestone, a theatre. I love to see theatres as we do our travels, and I can quietly wander around with my gadget and I can track down post boxes and photograph them and talk to locals. Sometimes it's very, very helpful and interesting to talk to local people, especially if a box has been taken out of use or a post office is no longer open.
So anyway, when I got them home, by this time I'd picked up maybe about 40 different bricks with different makers, names on. Didn't know what to do with them, so I eventually finished up putting a path down and building a small wall here with the name showing. And it became a bit of an obsession. My wife Maureen is a wee bit long suffering over the brick problem because I put maybe 3 rows of bricks down here. And as I got more and more, I had to extend it. So the thing is, I was taking up part of my wife's lawn. Well, it's not a lawn really, it's grass. But I was taking up her grass. So I couldn't put any more down there. So then I had to go to the wall and build the wall up a wee bit. But that keeps falling down. It was a battleground, yeah, but I won eventually, but I didn't put any more down there. She's got the upper hand, yeah. When you think about it, we have 150 bricks. And you can look at a brick and say, oh yeah, I remember when we got that. I know this sounds a bit silly, really. Now that has got a story. And it's just a little thing, not interesting to anybody else, but it is to us.
One of the things I like to do in London is go over and ride the longest escalator there is in the UK. It's the one at the Angel Tube Station. A long ride is enjoyable. You can stand there and relax and not be anxious about getting off for a while. You just stand back there and look at the pictures on each side, the adverts. And a longer ride, the adverts repeat themselves every so often. So if you miss completely reading one at one point, you can just wait till you get a little farther down the escalator and it'll appear again.
It's just a shed full of glass. No. I couldn't resist it.
So we have PMTs, we have double ringers, we have red ringers, double curbers, titchmarshes. We have a glossary of terms for our so if people want to join our society, they will learn these terms.
In black and yellow, yellow and black, red and green, black and green, all the different designs.
You can even make the terms up if you like. That's the whole beauty of our hobby.
I suppose the age of the box, if it's Victorian, the rarity of the box, if my knowledge gives me that information that there aren't many of these around. The condition, I'd actually quite like them old, rusty and a bit grotty, a bit dirty.
Well, most of the places that you would find a brick have, there is one in particular that I think of, and it's an old rhubarb shed. So 90% of the rhubarb that's grown in this country comes from this part of the world. It's called the rhubarb triangles. The rhubarb sheds have virtually gone round this part of the world, and of course some of the bricks have been left.
A milkman at Christmas needs, I think, about 12 to 16 milk balls per customer, because he has to have 2 being washed, 2 being filled with milk, 2 in their fridge, 2 empties on the doorstep, and when it's over Christmas they multiply up with deliveries.
I like this spot, enjoy it, very quiet. You get 2 boxes for the price of 1. The modern day version, which some people in our society like, some don't, called jokingly a Tin Lizzie, Queen Elizabeth II on the throne. But the old one, Queen Victoria, sadly out of use, but as sharp and crisp and clean as the day it was made. Lovely.
I don't like milk. I think it's baby food. Have you ever had cornflakes with skimmed milk? It's awful.
We tried racing at some escalators the other day and they were both neck and neck. They were the same speed.
Well, I will never complete it. And in all honesty, I never want to. Because while I'm still looking, they're still out there and I'm still meeting people and having a great time. What's the saying? Short time living, long time dead. The more you can slow down and take things easy, the longer you're going to live. You've got to smile a lot. You've got to have fun.
What could be a more perfect day than to sit on a beautiful roundabout such as the one we're sitting on here and just take in this lovely historical village setting in the village of Otford. Beautiful, perfect way to spend a day, a summer's day.
Well, yeah, it's mainly about heritage. It's part of our heritage, brickworks. Although there were mucky, hot places to work in, bricks are part of our heritage. And that was one of the main reasons why I decided to salvage and do something with them when I got them, yeah. Boring? Well, no, I don't think it is, because it used to get us out, actually. Not particularly looking for bricks, but it used to get us out walking.
My wife of just over 41 or 42 years is very, very supportive of what I do. I wouldn't say she enjoys it as much as I do, but as we go around the country following our favourite musical Blood Brothers, where we stay there's invariably a post box or 2 or 3 in New Town, New Village, and she often comes with me while we're watching and looking for post boxes.
To be a roundabout spotter and join our society is so simple. All you need is a flask, an anorak, a camera and a notepad. We are the fastest growing cult hobby in England today. Come on board.
People often ask us, is this Dull Men's Club, is it a movement? No, it's not a movement. We like to stay put. People also ask us, is the Dull Men's Club one of these 12-step programs? No. 12-step programs try to get people to change their behavior. The Dull Men's Club is a 2-step program. We admit we're dull, and we're going to keep it that way.
Daft or dull as it may seem, it makes life just a little bit more happy. Oh, blimey, listen to me.